All right, folks, and thank you for tuning in real quick. We're going to do a quick little weather update for you this evening, and we know that we have a few things to mention. First of all, we have that new tornado watch that is in effect. That is until 7 a.m. tonight. That's for this area that you see highlighted in this yellow box here across the Metroplex. We do have this. And if you're tuning in, this is an exclusive Facebook live update. We'll have the channel up and running, but we do apologize. The channel has not been up because there's been some issues with the Facebook streaming. So where it just keeps getting accidentally removed by Facebook. So we're going to be doing this little update, and then we're going to have that channel up and running here in a little bit. But first off, if you're tuning in, like we said, tornado watch is in effect until 7 a.m., and that includes the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Areas to the east, that includes areas towards Paris, Tyler, Corsicana, Hamilton. Some of these areas are outside of our viewing area, but we just want to let you know in case you have any friends or family within that area. Make sure that they're staying alert tonight. Make sure that they have ways to receive alerts. Make sure that they are aware that there is a tornado watch. We've seen there's a lot of people that are disconnected to the weather. And while it's beautiful that we have all this technology, this crazy technology around us, it does seem like a lot of people are disconnected to the weather. Because of streaming platforms and stuff like that, they may not be tuning in throughout the day to the news or anything like that to see that there is a risk for severe weather. So just go ahead and let some family and friends know that there is a tornado watch until 7 a.m. Now, this isn't the biggest tornado threat that we've ever seen or anything like that, just to lower any fears. But definitely because there is a tornado threat, obviously, that the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center has seen issuing this watch, you just want to be aware of that. So, like you saw, the live scan radar just came through a second ago with a new sweep. We're going to go ahead and check out what's going on across the region. Let's switch the banner. So let's go back to live NextRad. And here you can see we have some storms off to our west. This is in the Graham area. These are approaching to the Decatur area and near Weatherford probably within the next hour or so. Let's check out some of these products. Now, these are not severe, but definitely we're going to be watching to see if these will intensify as they make their way further to the east. So as you can see, we had that beam come around once again with the new scan. I'm going to probe this real quick. Still seeing maybe some 50-mile-an-hour winds near Graham. Wouldn't surprise me if we saw. In fact, I don't actually have it on. Yeah, we do have some special weather statements. That's those blinking boxes. I'm going to zoom out that you can see down south of Abilene. Those are for winds in excess of 40 miles an hour and maybe some small hail. So right now, these are relatively well-behaved storms. We're going to check our exclusive hail tracker or hail size. Let me take off this base radar product real quick. And right now, these storms are tracking across an area that is under a severe thunderstorm watch until 2 a.m. So severe thunderstorm watch, I'll zoom out real quick, includes our western counties. Sorry to zoom out real quick. We know that it's late and a bunch of you are just wondering what's up. Tornado watch is in the yellow box until 7 a.m. like we mentioned a second ago. Severe thunderstorm watch is this pink box that you see here, and that is until 2 a.m. So we got another hour and a half to go with that. So our hail core tracker, not really seeing anything significant. Roughly just under penny-sized hail with both of these cores that we have going on here. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the radar. These are not severe storms at this moment in time, but wouldn't surprise me if the Graham area is getting some 45, maybe 50-mile-an-hour winds just about, and maybe some penny-sized hail. For the metro, we don't have anything going on. Just to lower any fears if you're tuning in, it's late. You had your alarm or app or something go off to let you know there is a watch in effect. We do not have anything immediately in the Metroplex, and this watch, it's going to last a while until at least 7 a.m. So we're going to show you, I'm going to take off our high-resolution Doppler radar. We're going to take off these watches and kind of clear up the maps and everything just to show you. We're going to put our, what is it? Let's go to this one. We're going to go to our Futurecast radar system. I'm going to put it roughly about midnight through, let's put it to about 11 a.m. just to show you the projections of what we can expect. This is going to take us a second to load the system, so I apologize. It may take a second to fully put on there. And we're going to show you what we can expect with storms tonight. If it'll load, I apologize for that. System's kind of overloaded. We're doing a million things with it. There we go. Let's go to the precipitation instead of the winds. All right, so this is starting roughly midnight until 10 a.m. tomorrow. And as you can see, line of storms with this projection starts to strengthen a little bit more as it gets closer to the I-35 corridor. That's around within the next hour to 2 hours or so based off of this model. And as you can see, might be missing a frame, but roughly around 3 o'clock is when this model in particular is showing a fairly decent line of storms making its way through Durant, Oklahoma, through roughly about Waco, with a few of these cells making its way through the Metroplex, roughly between, let's say, 2 and 5 a.m. tonight. As you can see, this is roughly 4:25 this morning's projection, and then those storms will finally make their way out of the area by roughly, let's say, around 5 to 8 a.m. tomorrow. This morning, excuse me, we are past midnight, so it is not tomorrow morning, it is this morning in just a couple of hours. So like you can see, line of storms, Ardmore, Bowie, Weatherford, all the way down to Dublin over the next hour to 2 hours, and then this model projects that storms should reach the Metroplex roughly by, let's say, 2 to 5 a.m. Tonight. So that's a look at that. If you're wondering what exactly we are concerned for, I'm going to put everything back up. I'm going to take down that model, and we're going to show you the thing that we're concerned about, and the Storm Prediction Center has issued a watch for, is the potential for some spin-up tornadoes with a line of storms. So right now we have a broken cluster or line of storms just to the west of the area, and those are going to form into potentially a more solid line as they make their way to the area. So when these storms make their way to North Texas into the DFW coverage area, if they are linear or in a solid line, we're going to be dealing with winds anywhere between 60, 70, maybe even a few areas of 75 miles an hour, straight lined winds within the line of storms as it makes its way towards the area. There will be a potential for a hail threat this evening, but it's not the catastrophic hail sizes that you see. We're talking pocket change sized hail. Basically, most cores tonight are going to be underneath quarter size. So for those who are terrified of the large hail, this is not that kind of setup. Quarter sized hail can't be ruled out, but we're not talking the massive hails or anything like that that you see with a more supercell type setup. This is a squall line of storms that'll make its way through the area, so we're more concerned with damaging winds and even embedded tornadoes that will be quick within a line, and that's why we do have that tornado watch in effect. We see a few comments on the Facebook, some people that are asking any reason to be worried for their area. Really, there's no reason to be worried. Just make sure that you have a plan in place, because there is a tornado watch in effect until 7 a.m. We just want you to know that watch is in place. There is a risk, and as long as you have a way to alert you overnight, you're going to be perfectly fine. Not everyone's going to see a tornado. Not everyone's going to see severe weather. This is just one of those threats that, because it is overnight and we know that people, they're going to be asleep, they just need a way to wake them up in the event that there is a warning for their area. But this is not the type of thing that absolutely everyone's going to see a tornado or anything like that, just to lower any fears. So just make sure you have a way to receive warnings. We do not have an app, unfortunately, at this moment. We'd love to have one, but some apps that I do recommend, if you want a mobile app to alert you overnight, it's going to be Barron Critical Weather. We're not advertised in any way to say any of these apps or anything like that. These are just apps I personally use. Barron Critical Weather is a good one. Storm Shield is another good one. These are both free, and they'll alert you overnight for the potential of severe weather. So that's just a quick. I can't think of the word. Excuse me. That's just the quick advice that we have for that. If you have a weather radio, that is also a very good way to receive warnings. But this isn't an event that you need to be worried about overnight. Just be aware of it, have a way to receive warnings, and you'll be perfectly fine. And we'll be keeping a close eye on these storms as they make their way towards the area. So Like I mentioned a second ago, free apps. There's numerous free apps that'll alert you. They'll give you reliable alerts on time. And some of those, like I mentioned, are Storm Shield, Bear, and Critical Weather. They're both free. I do believe they're on all of the app platforms. Uh, I do believe that they are on all app platforms. So those are the ones that I recommend just from my personal experience. If you want to track some of these storms, we also have free interactive radar on weather225.com if you want to track these storms along with us. So, like we said, this is just a quick update. We know a lot of you were alerted if you already have an app or weather radio or radio going that there was a tornado watch in effect. There is a tornado watch in effect in the yellow outlined area that you see on the map. That is until 7 a.m. So it's going to be a long night to be watching weather on our end, but you can go to bed as long as you have a way to alert you if there is a warning for your area. So that's just a quick heads up for that. And like I said at the start of this, it's beautiful that we have all the technology that we do, but we are doing this because we know a lot of people are disconnected, especially if they don't really tune into the news during the day. So because of the whole streaming that everyone is doing now, that they may not be aware that there is a severe weather threat today. So we just want to let everyone know we do have a tornado watch in effect for the area. That includes Dallas, Fort Worth, Collin County, Denton County, Denton, Frisco, all these areas, even up to the Red River, Grayson, Montague, and Cook counties, and areas to the south of I-20 in our viewing area as well. That's until 7 a.m. Main risks that we're going to be dealing with: damaging winds, 60 to 70 miles an hour, and a few embedded tornadoes cannot be ruled out. We also have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until roughly the next hour and a half left of that until 2 a.m. And that does include large portion of our western North Texas coverage area just to the outside of the immediate Fort Dallas, Fort Worth metro counties. So that's a look at that. And I'll do one more radar tour real quick. We know that many of you aren't going to want to stay up with us all night because it is late and it is during basically the start to the mid portion of the week. Let's see real quick. We do have some hail indicators, but like I said earlier, this is not a major hail threat that we're going to be dealing with today. We're talking pocket change sized hail underneath quarter as the main threat for tonight. So hail is not the main threat with storms. Like we said, 60, 70 mile an hour winds and spin up tornadoes are going to be the primary concern. So what you're looking at here, this is our velocity product. This is the radar looking within the thunderstorm to see where exactly the rain is getting pushed around by the wind. And as you can see, green is going basically towards the radar and red is going away. And right where you see some of those brighter colors, let's sample. Do have maybe some areas. You also have to take into consideration this is looking a little bit away from the radar. This little white circle you see just above Burleson is the radar site in Fort Worth, and I do believe that that's looking probably about a good 1,500 feet off the ground. So this is looking a little bit more aloft, and you can see 43, 48, not severe. In order for a storm to be severe, you need winds of 58 miles an hour or greater, and you need hail around or greater than 1 inch in diameter. So far, not seeing that with these, but it wouldn't surprise me if these are producing probably around 40, 45 mile an hour wind gusts approaching the Mineral Wells and Graham area and closer. Let's zoom in on some of these locations here. Closer to Gordon, Strawn, Grafford. Some of these communities may get some 40, 45 mile an hour winds here shortly, but nothing of intense levels or severe levels for that matter. Checking out our hail core tracker real quick. This is the tool that we use. This is the computer estimating what it thinks the hail size could be within a storm. And yeah, we're talking just around penny size. So this isn't severe or anything like that. So as we mentioned, we're not talking the massive hail that you'd get with a supercell type setup. This is going to be very small hail, and that's why it is not the main concern for today. So as you can see, storms are relatively behaving at the moment. We do not have any sort of warnings for the area, but we do have 2 watches. Severe thunderstorm watch in pink, that is until 2 a.m. That's for the next hour and a half or so. And then the yellow outlined area is a tornado watch until 7 a.m. So I'm going to show you real quick some things that you can do for overnight. Stay tuned to the weather. Make sure that you have a way to keep up with the forecast tonight. That's a free alert app. That is a no weather radio. That's if you want to register for text messages. We know that the National Weather Service has a way that you can actually put in your phone number and register for alert texts. But you do not want to rely on just one method alone. You want to rely on several methods. So if you have a weather alert app and you have a weather radio, make sure that you have both of those going just to make sure that you can receive an alert overnight in case your area gets one. Have a plan in place, know where to go. So overnight, if your area were to receive an alert, you would know exactly where to go, what to do. Just have a plan ready. And the same is for having alert apps, radios, stuff like that ready. For people who have storm anxiety, I can tell you from some personal moments in my life, when you are more prepared with severe weather, it helps with the fear. So if you are ready, if you are prepared, you're not as afraid of the weather. This is just from my personal experience growing up. I used to be terrified of storms. Now we're reporting the weather to you. Just make sure you have numerous ways to receive warnings, have a plan in place. It'll be perfectly fine. Like we said, not everyone's going to see severe weather tonight. Not everyone's going to get hit by severe weather tonight. It's just that there's a risk that you need to be aware of, and we want you to be aware of that risk before you go to bed tonight. So 12:35 a.m. is the current time. Like we said, we do have another hour and a half for the severe thunderstorm watch to the west. Make sure that you have a way to receive alerts overnight. And we do have a tornado watch for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and a large portion of North Texas until 7 a.m. So one more quick overview, and then we're going to see if we can get our channel up and running on Facebook again. I apologize if you're wondering where the channel was today. We have had several issues with Facebook. We've been trying to get that going, but there's some pages that keep flagging our content as their own for some reason, which is false. We make all of our graphs and everything like that. So we've been trying to fix that with Facebook, and then also the streaming platform on Facebook got an update, and it's been very unstable the past couple of weeks, where it'll just go up for a second and then it will remove itself. So we're going to see if it's going to work tonight. If not, you can always find our live stream for our weather channel on our YouTube. We'll link that tonight if we can't get the Facebook going. So real quick, just one more overview before we get off and just keep an eye on the weather for the rest of the night. Like we mentioned, tornado watch in the yellow shaded box. That is until 7 a.m. That does include Dallas and Fort Worth, the Metroplex areas to the east, areas along the Red River, and areas that we cover to the south of I-20. This area that you see in pink, that is the severe thunderstorm watch for the next hour and a half or so until 2 a.m. That does include western North Texas and areas that we cover. And the little blinking boxes that you see basically where my cursor is, these are special weather statements. These are outside of our coverage area, so we're not mentioning those at this time, but these are not severe alerts. When you get a special weather statement, it usually means for winds that are just under severe limits or hail that is just under severe limits. And currently there are 2 storms that fit that criteria just to the south of Cisco at this time. I'm going to put the radar back on one more time. Reflectivity, you can see some of those storms are starting to look a little bit more organized as they make their way off to the east, and that's what we're expecting is a line of storms to develop and make its way closer to the Dallas-Fort Worth area overnight. Let's see if we can get it to load on this one. See if I can get it put into motion for y'all to see as it makes its way closer to North Texas. Seems like the computer may also be tired at this time. I apologize for that. Actually, I'm going to try on this one, see if that works better. And here we go. Here's the that's past 6 hours. Let's tone that down to about 3. So here's the last 3-hour loop, and as you can see, some scattered, broken cells are starting to form into more of a solid line as they make their way closer to the western half of the Metroplex. And as these storms start to become more organized and develop into a solid line, that's when we're going to be talking that severe wind threat between 60 and 70 miles an hour, and even potentially an isolated tornado or two overnight. So make sure that you have a way to receive warnings, like we mentioned. Stay weather alert, but this isn't something that you have to stay up all night with. You can go to bed. Just make sure that you have ways to be alert in case a storm approaches your area, and it can wake you up in the event of that storm. But this is not anything to be up all night for or be scared about. As long as you have a plan ready. I'm going to show you that one more time before we go. Sorry if we're back and forth on this. Just one more time. You'll be fine as long as you have a severe weather safety plan in place, know where to go if you are to have a warning issued for your area. If you have a way to wake you up, that's text alerts through the National Weather Service. That's free apps that alert you, and even NOAA Weather Radio. Make sure that you have those in place just to be ready in the event of severe weather. Quick, what is it? Reading something off on the side. Yeah, another quick tip for tonight is if you know anyone in a mobile home, or if you live in a mobile home, make sure that you have a plan in place and know where you can go in the event a storm approaches your area. Just because it's going to be late at night, if in the event you would have to go seek shelter, just know where you would go and make sure that you have a way to receive alerts overnight. We have a few comments that are asking about their communities in North Texas. When it comes to forecasting and the weather, we'll just say this solid line of storms is going to make its way into the Metroplex. There's a fair shot that a lot of the area could see potentially severe winds as it makes its way closer to the Metroplex. Those would be between 60 and 70 miles an hour. Now, when it comes to the tornado threat tonight, we can't really ever say what communities are going to be at greater risk for a tornado tonight. Just basically everyone has a fair shot at that risk within the watch for tonight. So if you're in the watch, there's a risk. If you're in the severe thunderstorm watch, there's a risk. So just make sure that you are aware of this and have a plan ready. But this isn't a major outbreak or anything like that. So not everyone's going to see severe weather tonight, but if you live within the watch, you do have a fair shot at seeing severe weather tonight. Let me go back to the radar. And I hope this helps. When it comes to forecasting, we can't really let's see, someone's mentioning potentially severe winds. We'll check that out for you real quick. And I do believe Vidor Texas, excuse me. I do believe that is well outside of our coverage area. We'll take a quick look for you real quick. I do believe that's closer towards the Houston area. If you're new to this page, we are a Dallas-Fort Worth weather media page, but we'll check that out for you real quick. Doesn't look. Let's see. I'll put up the fronts real quick. There is some gusty winds within that area, but there are not any storms as it looks as of now. We can tell you that the winds have been quite strong even up here in the DFW area. That is because of the This is because of the system that's going to be moving through the area. So they may be strong, but we can guarantee it doesn't look like there's any sort of severe activity down there at this time. So it may be gusty. We know winds can be unnerving just because the sound that it can make and stuff like that. But fortunately, at this time, it doesn't look like there's any sort of severe storm activity down there or any alerts at this time. So it wouldn't surprise me, maybe 45-mile-an-hour winds. In order for a storm to be considered severe, you need roughly 58-mile-an-hour winds or higher, and you need hail just above or around an inch in diameter. So hope that helps. Let's see. No problem. See, any other comments here in the chat? Anything real quick before we go? If you have any comments, feel free to put them in the chat. And just real quick, if anyone wants to ask about their location in DFW, we're just gonna put a blanket. We're just gonna put a blanket comment across for North Texas. For your individual location, if you are within the tornado or severe thunderstorm watch tonight, there is a risk for severe weather. We can't guarantee that one area will or will not see severe weather. There is going to be a solid line of storms that eventually makes its way into DFW between 2 and 5 a.m. tonight. These are going to be capable of producing potentially damaging winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour. And these will also have the potential for hail that will be just underneath severe limits. Basically, we're talking penny, nickel, just undersized just under quarter-sized hail, and we will also have an embedded tornado threat within the line. These could quickly spin up. These are what we call embedded tornadoes, or a better term that we like to use in the weather community is these are going to be QLCS tornadoes. That means that they spin up quickly. You'll see them on radar briefly, but the warnings will be short-lived just because they pop up quickly. So that's the threat for tonight. Yeah, for those mentioning their communities, the risks tonight, if you're in the watch, there is a risk for some storms that could produce 60, 70 mile an hour winds and a spin up tornado and relatively small hail. So, can't really say which communities will and will not be impacted. It's just if you're going to bed and you're in the watch, make sure you have a way to receive warnings in case. And that's just to be safe, because we want you to be aware of the threat and we want you to know that there is a threat, but we can't really determine which counties will and will not be hit. Especially with the models, we know some people will ask us when they see a model that goes into a specific area. Models are it's just an idea that paints a picture of what we could see. They're never 100% accurate, so we can't really say which communities are going to see severe weather indefinitely and which will not. It's just that everyone within the watch has a fair shot at it for tonight. So make sure that you have a way to receive warnings. I'm going to show that just one more time. Here you go. Here's our severe weather safety tips. You can view more of these, including where you can shelter, what to bring to shelter, more like that. These are our severe weather safety tips. That's weather225.com. Stay tuned to local weather service media, NOAA Weather Radio, and media outlets like us. We'll be letting you know if anything happens. Review your severe weather safety plan with us on our weather safety page. And also make sure you know where you can go in the event that you would need to take shelter. This isn't to alarm you or scare you. This is just to be prepared. It is storm season, regardless of the threat tonight, regardless of the threat that we'll have in the coming weeks or anything like that. Always have a severe weather safety plan in place. Like I mentioned, for those who have storm anxiety, the more you have prepared, the more you know, the less scary the weather is. If watches or warnings or anything like that are issued for your area. So that's just a quick tip. Also, make sure that you have ways to receive alerts. That's text alerts. That's free apps. That's NOAA Weather Radio. That's however you get your alerts. Make sure that you have those ready for tonight, just because we do have this severe weather threat. So, thank you all for watching. We know it's getting late. We don't want to keep y'all too up. We're going to try and also get that channel up and running on our Facebook. There's the new live sweep That's one of our favorite parts of our live scan radar product is you get to see the new sweeps come in. And as you can see, storm's still approaching the Metroplex at this time. Current time is 12:48. Time of recording. This will be up on our Facebook if you want to review. And as you can see, storms are becoming more linear. There is some small hail possible with these, but these are not severe. We're talking penny-sized with most of this activity. But thankfully, these storms are pretty well behaved at the moment. Not seeing any sort of special weather statements or anything like that issued, but I do think that could change in the next hour or so as these get closer to the I-35 corridor. So it's just something we'll have to watch. So thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, make sure you have a way to receive those warnings if they are issued. Tornado watch in the yellow shaded area until 7 a.m. Later today. And we do have roughly about another hour left for the severe thunderstorm watch in the pink area. I'm going to take the radar off real quick just to show you where. Oh yeah, and one more quick thing. Keep bouncing back and forth before I get off. As you can see, these little white dots everywhere. This is our lightning counter, and as you can see, it looks like very intense lightning activity is occurring with this line of storms too. So even if, in addition to these storms, they're not severe at the time being, but if you're in Bowie, Graham, all the way down to Stephenville, it's not going to surprise me if you're getting very frequent lightning, and these storms are loud at the moment. No warnings with these, but these are going to be loud thunderstorms with the potential for 40, 45 mile an hour winds and very frequent lightning as it looks with that. So, quick recap. Non-severe storms at this time are currently in western North Texas. These are within the area in pink. That is a severe thunderstorm watch. For the yellow shaded area, and here's our text box with some information, this is going to be for a tornado watch that is in effect until, here, let me move it. There we go. In effect until 7 a.m. Winds up to 70 miles an hour are going to be possible. Hail up to 1 inch is possible. And then definitely the risk, as the watch mentions, tornado watch in effect, there is going to be the potential for maybe a few spin up tornadoes, but this isn't going to be a major outbreak or anything like that, just to lower anyone's fears, just a risk you want to be aware of overnight. So make sure that you're aware of that. So that's a quick overview of that. We'll see if we can get our channel up and running. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight and for your comments. Hope this helps. Make sure that you're staying alert. View weather225.com for severe weather safety. Make sure that you also view our live radar. You can actually track these storms along with us with our free interactive radar products. And also make sure that you view our forecasts, severe weather risks, and more 24/7 on weather225.com. Thank you guys for tuning in.